Welcome to the overnight. This is the daytime edition again. So Brian Dable decided 6 snaps in the NFL. Jaxson Dart's going to start week 4 against the Chargers. Look, we all know this is a fucking desperation move. We all know that John Mara, who said the moment the season ended in his presser that his patience was wearing thin, and now that they're 0-3, and his patience probably got a lot thinner, probably had Dable come up to his office and tell him this better change. Or else. He knows he's on thin ice and is starting to crack. But let's think about this realistically. Does Brian Dable think that Jaxson Dart will actually make this offense better? I don't think so. Maybe after a few starts, when he gets his feet wet and the speed slows down for him. Yes. Now, no. What they could have done, you made Jackson a number 2 QB. When the game is out of reach and you're down double digits, like you did on Sunday, maybe you could have put Jaxson Dart in for a series. Because these when you put him in for 3 snaps, what's he going to learn? What's he going to fucking learn? The answer is nothing. They changed the entire quarterback room in the offseason. Same results. When are we going to point the finger at Brian Dable and Mike Kafka? These were the last 2 play callers the last 2 years. Kafka called the plays in 23. They were 31st ranked offense. Last year, Brian Dable called the plays. They were 31st in offense. And now, Kafka's got the play calling back. Same fucking results. No creativity. You couldn't scheme Wan'Dale Robinson or Malik Neighbors open or made any in-game adjustments against a basic defense, basically to prevent deep throws. And yet they couldn't make any adjustments. But yet it's Russell Wilson's fault. And Russell Wilson had a great game week 2. But is it against the Cowboy defense is that bad? Probably it is. Because, look what Caleb Williams did. But here's the thing. I guarantee you that the first quarter, that unless they establish the run really early, if they try to sling the ball all over the place, and especially the interior offensive line with the Giants is not good. Look at Illuminor. Illuminor has been very good at our right tackle, and then you have Andrew Thomas back, who had allowed nothing in his 26 snaps. And yeah, he was on a snap count, and I'm willing to predict that he's going to be another snap count. He'll probably go about 40 for this week. But you had the interior. Runyon, Schmitz, Van Roten, they're not that good. That needs to be fixed. What's it going to hurt to have Evan Neal at guard? Stop making him a healthy scratch. Put him in. You're 0-3. Can't get any fucking worse. But I just think they deviated from this plan so fucking bad. And Brian Dable is on the extreme hot seat. So I said it, and I've always said it, that Brian Dable will be fired by week 8. If they lose to New Orleans, because they already gave Brian Schottenheimer his first NFL win, don't be surprised if they give Kellen Moore his first NFL win. And when that happens, that's when something's going to happen. Either Dable's going to be fired, Bowen's going to be fired, Kafka's going to be fired. One of those three. Or all three. You know what? If you fire Dable, make Shea Turney your interim head coach until you find one. This was going to be a terrible season to begin with the way the schedule was. This team has talent. You have your running back. Now you have a quarterback. You have a wide receiver. You have a good slot receiver. Hopefully we can get our tight end, Theo Johnson going. And you have a pass rush. And you have a stud in Abdul Carter. But I guarantee you, if we have a different defense coordinator, this defense would be 5 times better. Because the defense has looked great at times, and then the defense has looked pathetic at times. Undisciplined, penalties at the wrong time, shit like that. But I just think this is a desperation move by Brian Dable. And it was brought on by John Mara because his patience has ran thin. It's that simple. And we'll see how Jaxson Dart fares this week. I mean, we'll see against a very good defense, because that's a top 5 defense in the Chargers. And he's going to learn extremely fast. I just think the way it's going to be, how I foresee it happening, is if anyone has watched the first game of J.J. McCarthy on that Monday night game, it looked like he got shell-shocked at times on how fast the rush got to him. I have a feeling that Jaxson Dart's going to go through the same exact thing. And it'll continue until it slows down for him. But I think with new coaching and new coordinators, I think this team will get better. But right now, with Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, nope. Sorry. Not happening. I'd rather just wait to have Jaxson Dart start. I'd rather wait until week 9. Or even after the bye. But week 4, and especially when you have a proven veteran who's won a Super Bowl in Russell Wilson, and you just yank him like that after one terrible start. That's not it's a team effort. And it's on coaching too. Couldn't make in-game adjustments. Yes, they ran the ball well, but Dable and Kafka couldn't scheme Malik Neighbors open. You can't go from him and Wan'Dale Robinson getting 300 yards to not even 40 the next week. Teams are going to teams copycat. This is the blueprint that now the Giants have to make the adjustments and scheme. But will they do that? Probably not, because we'll see the next couple of weeks against Philly, and pretty coincidental that they had the trailer for today with Saquon Barkley. That's premiering on Prime on October 9th. And pretty coincidental that the Giants and the Eagles are playing that night. Giants are going to be 1-4, 0-5, and they're going to go into that game, and the documentary's going to... And the documentary... Yeah, that's going to be a fun fucking week for Giant fans. Maybe we'll provide some truths, but we'll see. But do I agree with this move? No. Do I believe it's a desperation move? 100,000%. So, we'll see what happens. The Yankees are on in about an hour or so. They need to win 5 of the next 6 games to have a shot of winning the division. Simple.